Welcome to Arctic's 8-Bit Bytes. Let's talk about something new and exciting. Just recently, Q-SYS has done another major release of updates to their design software. They just released Q-SYS Designer 10. Along with many updates, they've included a new toolbox design tool called Flexbox. So, what is Flexbox? Think of it as a dynamic container that lives on your UCI, allowing you to drag graphical elements into it. But here's where it gets powerful. It automatically arranges those elements as needed, creating a flexible and adaptive layout. The real magic happens when you change the visibility of elements within a Flexbox. So, let's create a Flexbox. Let's drag some buttons into it and see what we can do with UCI variables and Lua scripting. Let's hit plus to create a new user control interface. Click on that new UCI and find the Toolbox tab. At the very bottom, you will see the new tool, Flexbox. Drag the Flexbox icon into your UCI. With the Flexbox, let's simulate a navigation button bar at the bottom of the screen. We will drag 4 momentary buttons onto the UCI. Let's also give the buttons some generic names. You will notice that the Flexbox icon now appears in the UCI Layers tab. Let's Control-click the buttons and drag them together into the Flexbox. If you need to rearrange the order of those buttons, you can drag them around like they're elements within a layer. As you can see, you can enable or disable the visibility of each button. Flexbox dynamically rearranges those items. If you change the Flexbox property Wrap to On, Flexbox can rearrange the buttons to somewhat fit whatever size box you create. Now, let's take this a step farther. Click on the Variables tab. Let's create some variables so we can change the button text, and also change the button visibility with Lua scripting. We will need 8 new variables, 4 for text and 4 for visibility for each button. The text variables will be strings, and the visibility variables will be boolean values, either true or false. Let's start writing some Lua code. Also, let's look at some information that we will need. Notice that the 4 new buttons we created for the Flexbox are called Control 1 through 4. You can also give your button names whatever names you'd like. Also, let's take another look at the names we gave our UCI variables. Our first line of code is going to grab the button 1 text from the UCI variable and assign that text to the button legend. A button legend is the text displayed on a button. The legend is a string value. Notice the UCI get variable command needs to know the UCI name and the variable name. Let's do this same thing 4 times. 1 line for each button. I'd like to point out that these lines of code that we are currently writing will only run the first time the UCI script is run. If we change the UCI variable information, we will have to restart the UCI script each time. I have a fix for that here in a little bit. Okay, so let's write the lines of code that will grab the UCI button disable variables. We will have 1 line for each button. Let's hit save and emulate the design. Now, let's enter some UCI variable text. We also have checkboxes for the button disable variables. Notice, as we change this info, the buttons don't change. As the program is written now, the script only grabs the variables when the script runs for the first time. Stop the script, then restart it, and the buttons will update. So, real quick, why use UCI variables? The idea is that UCI variables allow us to make changes to our UCI quickly and easily, without having to dive into the Lua script or having to click on a bunch of different buttons within the UCI to change button names. There's also another trick. QSC has a free version of Q-SYS Reflect. Reflect is a cloud-based remote management system that allows you to see a Q-SYS core remotely. And guess what? The free version of Reflect will let you change the UCI variables remotely. This allows you to change button names and UCI features remotely for free. Now, let's make our script update the buttons in real time without having to start and stop the script manually. UCI variables have an event handler. When a variable data is changed, it will trigger a block of code. Let's do that for the 4 UCI text variables. We will create 4 event handlers, basically running the lines of code we have already written. Now, as we change the UCI variable text, the event handlers trigger, and the button text changes automatically. Let's write 4 more event handlers that will trigger when the disabled variables are changed. Click Save, and let's emulate the design. I have one last thing to show you. The Lua script that we've created ended up being quite a few lines of code. It's always nice when you can simplify your program to have fewer lines. I'm not going to completely explain this program, but because we have 4 buttons and most of the commands are all the same, we can use a for loop that runs 4 times to simplify. Let's comment out the program that we just wrote. And once I put the program in, feel free to hit pause and take a look at this new simplified block. We can condense this program down to only 18 lines of code. We can also now make this program work with any number of buttons. You just create the buttons, create the variables, and change the for loop in the script to run the number of times for the number of buttons that you have. Thanks for watching Arctic's 8-Bit Bytes. I'm thrilled to be one of your internet AV programming resources. Please support this channel by using my affiliate links. I like to use glide gear camera supports and teleprompters. Under the description, there's a link to get 10% off any glide gear product. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more AV programming content. Thanks.